The second-generation Peugeot 308 was a strong competitor to the Volkswagen Golf in its day, and many people value this model even more because of its diesel engines. Unfortunately, petrol engines are practically out of the question when buying a car, but if you're looking for a spacious, economical, compact car at a good price, the 308 could be a perfect choice. The second-generation T9 Peugeot 308 debuted in 2013, the year the Volkswagen Golf 7 was named Car of the Year. The French company's design proved so successful that it won the award in 2014. That same year, the SW station wagon joined the lineup, and the 1.2 PureTech engine debuted, quickly becoming a sales hit thanks to its good performance, low fuel consumption, and affordable price for a car with this specification. Over the following years, the Peugeot 308 powered many European fleets, purchasing both the petrol and the very economical diesel versions. From 2015, individual customers could choose the prestigious, powerful GT version with a 1.6 THP petrol engine producing 205 horsepower, or a 2.0-liter diesel engine producing 181 horsepower. Meanwhile, drivers with a sporty streak could order the GTI with 272 horsepower. At the time, it was one of the most powerful front-wheel drive hot hatches on the market. In 2017, the car underwent a modernization, primarily in terms of its exterior appearance and engine range. Minimal changes were made inside, including the addition of digital instrument clusters. In 2021, production of this generation ended and the next began. Peugeot 308 owners praised the car's spaciousness. At 425 centimeters long for a hatchback, its 263 centimeters wheelbase provided ample rear seat space. However, the real game-changer was the SW station wagon, which, at 459 centimeters long, boasted a record-breaking 273 centimeters wheelbase. No compact car could match this. The trunk space was also impressive. 420 liters for a classic hatchback, not a liftback like the Octavia, is an exceptionally good result, although the Honda Civic iX boasted a better one, 477 liters. Few compacts before 2015 had a trunk larger than 400 liters. The station wagon also didn't lag behind, with 610 liters. This is exactly the same figure as the always impressive Octavia and slightly worse than the Civic iX's trunk. It must be said, however, that this figure was achieved by completely eliminating the full-size spare tire. Few cars on the market even have a space-saver spare tire. Another distinguishing feature of the Peugeot 308 is its revolutionary cockpit, with its unique steering wheel and instrument layout. The tiny steering wheel is located below the instruments. The goal was to improve their visibility, although many drivers complained about this. A real ergonomic flaw is the single cup holder. However, an optional 230-volt socket in the rear of the car might be a point of interest. Another thing is that when it debuted, the Peugeot 308 surprised everyone with its almost entirely touchscreen controls. While this is standard today, in 2012 it was another revolution. Air conditioning, radio, and many other settings were controlled solely via the screen. It was the 308 that actually started this now disparaged trend. Only a few functions could be physically activated, leaving only a volume knob. An interesting feature is the CD player, which was already being phased out of many cars at that time. From a technical perspective, the Peugeot 308 wasn't revolutionary in any way. It was the first C-segment model to which PSA introduced active driver assistance systems, which is why the steering system is electric. It was also one of the first compacts from 2017 to feature an 8-speed automatic transmission. Otherwise, it's a simple and classic design. McPherson strut front suspension, a torsion beam rear axle, no four-wheel drive, and no bells and whistles like adaptive dampers. Even the sporty GTI model didn't have these. The model's engine lineup was quite extensive, encompassing almost everything users could desire. Both economical and powerful gasoline engines were available, as were fuel-efficient and dynamic diesels. The only option missing was a hybrid, which debuted only in the successor. The engine lineup has evolved over time. The entry-level 1.2 VTI petrol with 82 horsepower was not a success and was discontinued in 2017, but the 1.2 PureTech was a hit and remained in the lineup until the end. The 1.6 THP engine remained in the GT and GTI trims after 2017, but was finally discontinued in 2020. The only engine you'd rather not have under the hood, 1.2 PureTech. The diesels were a bit of a mixed bag, with the smaller 1.6 HDI being replaced by its successor, the 1.5 HDI, in 2017. The 2.0 HDI was offered from launch until 2020, but only in GT trim. The standard 150 horsepower version was offered until 2018. The more powerful 180 horsepower version was replaced by a more moderate 177 horsepower unit in 2017, and the newer version lasted only until 2020. The least powerful 2 petrol engines and the 2 diesels were paired with 5-speed manual gearboxes. The others were 6-speed. Some variants were available only with automatic transmissions, the 225 HP petrol GT and both GT diesels. Automatic transmissions varied depending on the model year. Both were classic Eisen models with a converter, 6-speed before the facelift and 8-speed afterward. Both were available with the 1.2 PureTech 130 horsepower engine. An 8-speed was offered with the 1.6 PureTech 225 horsepower variant. The diesels were paired with 6-speed automatics in the 1.6 HDI, while the 1.5 HDI received 8-speed transmissions. The exception was a short transitional series where the 1.5 HDI diesel received a 6-speed automatic until March 2018 in some markets. The 2.0 HD engines were paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, the exception being the 177 horsepower variant, which received an 8-speed. The most powerful diesels were not paired with a manual gearbox. Peugeot 308, T9, 2013 to 2021, which engine to choose? The answer is incredibly simple: diesel. The only argument for choosing the 1.6 THP engine is familiarity with it and the knowledge of a good garage that will properly service it. You could also opt for the GTI model equipped with this engine, and while in my opinion it's a car that lacks character for a hot hatch, it does have its fans. A slightly better choice is the 1.6 PureTech. But remember that it doesn't eliminate the causes of its problems, but rather masks them with a more durable design. Virtually everything has already been written about the 1.2 PureTech engine. Anyone who's read it knows that in a car just a few years old, it's a real time bomb. However, even if the 1.2 VTI were perfect, it's not really suited to this car. For both driving and operational use, diesels with power outputs of 116 horsepower and above are best. The smaller 1.5 and 1.6 engines are for relaxed drivers, and the 2-liter engines are for those who expect decent dynamics. Without a doubt, all diesels are good, although each has its weaknesses, understanding which will help eliminate problems. Initially, the entry-level engine was the 1.6 HDI diesel, which can be called EHDI, meaning start and stop, Blue HDI, equipped with SCR and start and stop, or simply HDI, without both. Essentially, it's the same engine, an 8-valve, the most refined HDI diesel engine produced since 2010. It's equipped with a wet-type FAP particulate filter, so it generally doesn't cause any problems other than those resulting from neglect. You just need to remember to check the Aeolus fluid level in the onboard computer, although in practice, the amount in the tank is enough for well over 100,000 kilometers. The FAP filter itself isn't a problem either, provided the car regularly drives longer distances. This doesn't require high speeds, but rather time. You don't need to hit the highway, but driving for at least a few minutes after the engine has fully warmed up is sufficient. The SCR system requires AdBlue topping up, and if the car drives at least 15,000 to 20,000 kilometers per year, it usually doesn't cause problems until around 150,000 kilometers. Pump failures do occur, but the heater or temperature sensor will fail first. The 1.6 HDI engine has a durable timing belt drive, but a less durable water pump. Therefore, it's worth replacing it every 100,000 kilometers. A timing belt and water pump kit costs around 110 euros. It also has a durable turbocharger and a Siemens Continental injection system. Injectors are inexpensive, around 200 euros each. Among the so-called ailments of the 1.6 HDI engine, we can mention slight oil sweating, but not necessarily from the block itself, but rather in the area of the camshaft, valve cover, and in the intake system. In 2017, a change occurred, specifically replacing the 1.6 HDI engine with the 1.5 Blue HDI. The new engine now has a timing chain, but it isn't as durable as its predecessor. This engine suffers from problems with the oil-immersed timing belt, like the 1.2 PureTech, though to a lesser extent. Excessive oil consumption and DPF problems on short trips are also common. The best choice remains the 2.0 HDI Blue HDI diesel. It's the most refined and durable engine in the range. 150 horsepower, or 177 1/81 of a horsepower in the GT trim, delivers excellent performance while consuming 5 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers. The timing belt is durable, but the engine is a Garrett turbocharger and Bosch injection system. All are well-known and inexpensive to repair. The 1.6 THP petrol engine has problems with the timing belt, in the oil, carbon buildup, turbocharger, and oil consumption. Belt replacement is mandatory every 60,000 to 80,000 kilometers. The 1.2 PureTech has the same problem, but its durability is even worse. The 1.2 PureTech model's biggest problem is the timing belt, which frays in oil, clogs the oil passages, and leads to engine seizure. Belt replacement is recommended every 60,000 to 100,000 kilometers, but even that doesn't provide full protection. Engine rebuilding costs Euro 2,400 to 4,800. 1.6 THP engines, similar problems though slightly less severe. Petrol EcoBoosts, carbon buildup, turbo, injectors. Diesels, DPF, EGR, turbocharger for short trips. Dual mass flywheel and clutch in manuals after 150,000 to 200,000 kilometers. Replacement Euro 600 to 950. Power shift gearboxes, low durability, jerky, cost 1,800 to 3,000 euros to rebuild. Eisens, durable after oil changes. Suspension, control arm bushings, stabilizer links, shock absorbers after 80–120,000 kilometers. Bodywork, corrosion of sills, wheel arches, and undercarriage, mainly pre-2017. Paintwork is soft and scratches easily. Electrics, problems with touchscreen, parking sensors, adaptive lights, BSI module, central locking. The best choice, a facelifted 2.0 Blue HDI diesel with an Eisen automatic transmission and documented service history.